I think we're going to get started. I'm assuming that people are going to kind of trickle in. My name is Daria Sheikh. I've partnered with the lab to bring this space to life, and actually for this session now, it's a member space to really hear from all of you and have a chance to hear from the three people who are leading the different pillars of the Institute. And I know that you expect to have, because of our seating, a kind of formal presentation, but actually the first thing we're going to get you to do is get up, stand up, find someone you don't know, and I'm going to give you a question, and each of you has to respond to it. We're going to do this twice, and then we'll come back together. So find someone you don't know, you're just meeting, introduce yourself, and tell that person one thing you're working on. So one thing, this is my troublemaker from yesterday. He doesn't let you're making trouble again. No, you're making trouble again. I'm just kidding. So you're going to find one person, and you introduce yourself, and share one thing that you're working on that you're excited about. You take 2 minutes each, and both sides have to speak. So go. One thing you're working on, and you guys do it also. One thing you're working on that you're excited about. Okay, I'm going to pause your conversation. I'm pressing pause. Now go find somebody else. So find somebody else that you don't know and you're meeting for the first time. Not the same question, so move across the room. And the next question is something you heard yesterday that has given you a new idea. Something you've heard yesterday or today that has given you a new idea. Okay, I'm going to pause your conversations again. My job is to interrupt good conversations. So have a seat. So this is really part of the intention not just of this session, but of the Institute membership, is to create the network of connection across all of you. So we have a chance now to hear more about the Institute, to have you answer some questions. We have Florence and Paloma and Tony. We're going to hear a bit from them about the way in which their pillars work, and then we're going to actually hear from all of you in terms of what you're working on and what would really make membership, no doubt you're part of many networks, what would really make this one not only distinct, but really help accelerate impact in terms of the spaces that you feel passionately about. So to start, would love to hand to you, Florence, in terms of your role. Introduce yourself. I'm realizing that maybe some of you are just meeting folks for the first time, so introducing yourself, the work that you do, and the particular part of the Institute that you look after.
Great, thank you very much first, for all of you to be here with us this morning. I really appreciate your engagement with us. So, as you know, FIA Institute is entering into its 7th edition. We are, yesterday was, I think, we all think, a very strong day with top leaders in the world sharing their vision about, everything, energies, finance, and so on. So last year, we decided, to go further into the engagement with our community, and particularly to launch a membership program. First, to ensure that we will be, we will have, a deep conversation all year round with you, and not only once a year in Riyadh, which is a very strong edition. And that's the reason why we start 2 years ago to engage, to extend our journey to the international. So last year we organized FII Priority Summit in London around ESG. The second summit was in New York, and we started the year with Miami, and we will end the year with Hong Kong. For your information, because of course you are a member and you will have the privilege to be with us all year round if you wish. We will in 2024 we will go to Miami again in February. If you want to already put in your calendar the 22nd and 23rd of February. Then we will continue most probably in London in April, May, most probably as well in June in South America, and could be, Sao Paulo. And we have the ambition to go as well in Africa, and to continue maybe in mainland China, or to renew, Hong Kong, depending, the success of the edition of December. So I really encourage you, to be part of our regional summit, because the engagement is much more intimate. Usually we have the summit on 1 day and a half with 800 people. So that means, the engagement is very strong. Small committee, we have dinners, breakout rooms as well, conclaves. This is something that we initiated this year and that we really want, to maintain, to have the Chatham House conversation. So today, what I'm curious, and all of us, because we are working as a team, is to know and to hear from you, what do you expect from us? What is exciting for you, to engage? There are plenty of opportunities to engage on individual basis, or, on a collaboration basis. That means, as you know, we have 27 strategic partners today, like Standard Chartered, HSBC, Aramco, and so on. And maybe how we could help you as well to connect with our strategic partners, and how we could, liaise you as an individual leader of international and global companies to engage with our strategic partners as well. So some ideas, to continue the conversation. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Florence. So that was all under the kind of exchange pillar in terms of fostering the network and connectivity. There's another piece of the Institute that looks after ACT, which is the space that you're on, Tony. Can you introduce yourself, but also what are you working on that's exciting in the ACT space?
Thank you. And just want to echo Florence in appreciating your time in coming and joining us for this conversation and for becoming members of FII Institute. And you can think about the Institute as a three-legged stool where there are three operational pillars. Florence leads, as she said, our strategic partnering, our membership, and also our convening function. You'll hear from Paloma shortly, who leads our think tank, which is producing the highest quality research on the problems that really matter, publishing it, sharing it, and getting the word out. And then that third leg of the pillar, it's a bit unique, but we have an investment team. And my name's Tony Berkeley. I'm based in New York now, actually, after spending the last 2 years here in Riyadh. And I have 20 years of experience doing what's called impact investing. So looking for investments that meet a financial objective, as well as a social and environmental objective. And what's exciting about the Institute in this third pillar, which we call ACT, it's a verb, not an acronym, by the way. By ACT, we mean we're putting our money behind the ideas that are shared on our platforms. We're investing in early stage deep tech companies that have unique solutions to the compelling problems that Paloma's team researches and raises awareness about, and that fits our priorities of sustainability, education, and healthcare, particularly the technologies of AI and robotics. It's a big mandate, and there's actually no way we can deliver on that without the collaboration and support of our membership and our partners. We have a global mandate, the technologies are various, the sectors are various. And so myself as head of investment, I actually rely a lot on my trusted partners to make sense of their industry verticals, to provide me access to their intelligence and their view, and even to source potential transactions to work on. In just a second, I'm going to call out Sharif Foda, the founder and CEO of Nesser. Nesser is a publicly traded ESG gem. Are you on NASDAQ, or you're on NASDAQ? Truly one of the leading companies in the oil and gas services segment, and also one of our earliest and strongest supporters as a member. And I'm asked Sharif to talk a little bit about how he's adding value and expecting value back from the Institute. But let me just detail a bit more about our work. And Sharif, if you want to talk about not just the pipeline of cool technologies that you're investing in, but also your ESG thought leadership. So the Institute has taken a broad thought leadership perspective. In addition to these investments, we're working with our capital markets partners, so large investors like HSBC, for example, and we've developed a framework and a methodology that we think will allow the strongest performing companies in sustainability, like Sharif's Nesser, that are based in emerging markets. He's based in Houston, so he's not exactly in target for us, but it's companies that are similar to Sharif's company, who do a phenomenal job around meeting all of these environmental, social, and governance objectives. But because they're based outside of the US and based outside of Europe, they don't get the attention of the global investment community. And this toolkit is a way to analyze these companies, to determine what counts as good performance, and for the global investment teams to begin to flow more capital into emerging markets by focusing on these really well-run listed corporates. So those are the two main sides of the ACT work. It's the direct investment portfolio, and it's the ESG thought leadership. I will pause there. Sharif, if you wanted to talk a little bit about your experience with FII, you've been here since day one, and if you would give some details on how we work together, and please coach me, give me feedback on what we can do that would be an improvement on what we're doing today.
Can you pass him the mic? Yeah. So I think you can hear me. Unfortunately, it's for the camera. We can hear you, but.
Okay. So thanks, Tony, for the kind introduction, and thanks for being here. Obviously, yes, as Tony mentioned, I've been here from day one. So I was in the first FII. I've been for the 7th now. It's definitely, as you can see, it's a very enriching in listening to a lot of world leaders, and it's similar to like World Economic Forum when you go to Davos, etc. So there is this part of the intellectual part that is very important, and reflecting that discussion to something that we can actually act on, right? Which is exactly what Tony has mentioned, and I'm very happy actually to work together with the team, not only from the quality of the print, but actually in discussing technologies that we can look at and invest in it. So what we do ourselves is what we are trying to do is to try to decarbonize the energy sector, and obviously we are in the Middle East. All our work is in the Middle East. We have 6,000 people. So what we want to do, can we produce this oil and gas in a more sustainable manner and in less carbon footprint? And I'm sure you heard a lot of very good comment yesterday. But what we do together is we look at these technologies sometimes as agnostic from it. What is that outside the energy sector? And can we bring it into the energy sector and make something out of it? And we have a very good dialogue with Tony and the FII team. Is even we look at some of these technologies to invest together in it, right? And that's another angle, and bringing that. And obviously, as they have the big picture as well, this could be a very good importance for some of the companies to get a big visibility on those technology. And that's, I think, enormous importance that people don't know, right? So if I talk to you about the water technology, that the industry, for example, produce 7 or 8 times the water that produce oil, not a lot of people in the public knows that. And if we can get that water to be used and make trees, for example, with like the Saudi Green Initiative or Middle East Green Initiative, and be part of that, obviously the visibility becomes enormous in magnitude. So again, very happy to be here, very happy to work with the team, and I think it's a very enriching, and it could be the new, as they say, the new compass, or the whatever they call global south and global north. So it's a good thing.
Thank you, Sharif. So that's one example from within the ACT space, and soon we're going to get a chance to hear from all of you in terms of other ideas that might be of interest and mutual benefit. But before we do, Paloma, do you want to share about the Think Pillar? And you have on your seats, actually, one of the outputs from the Think Pillar, which is the priority report. It was from the previous session, but definitely worth taking and reviewing.
Hi, and good morning, everyone. And I join Florence and Tony in thanking you and welcoming you. Thank you for your time and for being part of the FII Institute adventure with us. I'm the new director of Think, and basically this pillar is leading research, reports. We're producing content. We're looking into now online courses, webinar. We really want to involve our community as much as we can. Our goal is really to identify current emerging challenges to humanity and then provide solutions. So the report that we have is the Priority Compass, where we actually try to identify what matters for people, and then from them we want to act on it. So under my pillar, under this pillar, the way we're acting is we're going to create programs. We want to do capacity building, but we'll also have initiatives, and you can find them in the priority corridor. This year, for the first time, we have partnered with grassroots initiatives who are actually addressing some of the priorities identified in the compass. We're working on EdTech with them, digital literacy, clean water, and we want to expand in 2024, hopefully, across all areas. Health, sustainability, Tony mentioned them. So we're very much open for collaboration when it comes to identifying priorities in at local level, community-driven solutions, content that members and partners can provide to help us, engage our community. So yes, and again, welcome and thank you.
Wonderful. We'd love to open the floor now. Any questions you have in terms of what's already been shared, but also anything that comes to mind in terms of different opportunities you think about this notion of collaboration, how there is this sort of you talked, Tony, about adding value and expecting value. This really is the space to kind of explore what that could look like as membership and the Institute is really taking shape. So we're going to pass the mic around. I can be the Vanna White for that. And then just if you could introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and also what you work on.
Hi, my name's Jamie Cunningham. I run a business called One to Watch, which is a new business. I think I was probably the last member to join FII with about 10 days to go, effectively. So basically, I joined it because I've moved from, I was involved in sport for 30 years of managing athletes, running events, advising on sponsorship and sports PR, based between London and Abu Dhabi. And I'm now creating a sports fund, effectively, which is going to be one of the first venture capital funds for sport. I also something else which I've done for the last 3 years, which I'm inventing a new sport, which is a 60-minute version of golf, which ticks all the impact piece because it's going to use 80% less water in actual fact than a golf course because it's artificial turf. What's interesting from my point of view, just to give you some feedback, is that I also joined a Soho house in London at the same time. And I think you should do an onboarding process for members, in actual fact. I know that's a resource thing and it's a timing thing and everything else, but I sort of came quite blind into this, effectively, of what the potential is for members. And just, and I think that's the challenge of any new, body, effectively, in the space of to go, well, okay, there has been an investment made by a member, and to understand what their needs are. I mean, it could easily be done via AI, or it doesn't have to be done with a one-on-one. But what was interesting, actually, from a Soho House point of view, was that actually they went through, you're a member here, it's media, it's arts, what do you want to achieve from it, and everything else. And it was just an interesting piece of, it was two similar things that I did at the same time, because for a variety of reasons. And I just thought that was just some interesting feedback from your perspective of, I do think you should have an onboarding process for members rather than just, congratulations, you're in, we'll see you at the conference, and away you go.
JB, I want to ask you a question. Do you mind?
Yeah.
So you're clearly a true innovator in sport.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur in sport. I've worked.
No, you're a true innovator, right? You're creating a fund that doesn't exist before, and you're creating a sport that doesn't exist before. Are you speaking on a sport-themed panel at FII 7?
No, I'm not.
That's fine. So this is the thing I want to call up. Actually, I want to mention this to you, Florence. So the membership is the brains and muscle of FII Institute. These are founders. These are managing partners. These are CEOs. These are people who really do the work. And what we'll find, and I know Sharif, and we've got JB, and we'll find more examples of this, is that the true innovators are actually at this part of our network. Yet it's not always easy to ensure in our program discussions that they actually get to the true innovators. Because when they go online and Google, they're Googling something else that's already out there. It's actually not as innovative as we'd like to think. So tapping this brain and muscle here, to me, is critical, and getting them real speaking opportunities, which has not been easy at this point, to be frank.
Yeah. Great. Yes, you can. You can go give it.
So let me see if I understand. So the FII through the memberships. Okay, sorry. So for the membership in the FII, a member can play in one or more of the fields. Means support the business development of the growth, because when you say one-to-one means you can promote that I have a meeting with someone that belongs to the partners of the FII or another member of the FII. We can participate or use the result of the research made by the FII itself, like this one that you do in collaboration with Accenture. And you also are open to listening potential investments, but also to scanning the potential investments, okay? So let me tell you something that is real boring me the last year. As a member of the FII and a participant from the day one, I feel that when you are a small company or as a big network of small companies with no or low market reputation compared with the big people, you put us on the second tier. And that is not nice, real not nice. You know why? Because we are very good at what we are doing. And you don't have opportunity, there are others, to show that you can do also. Nobody asked me if I can participate in the research. I can do research. Nobody asked. And if I propose, you go to the big names. You don't go to the people that you don't know. I'm not complaining, because it's reality. I'm saying that to you guys, perhaps you can find very interesting things if you pay attention to the people that you have in your membership. And then I can give you an example. Thank you.
Yeah. I think one of the things I'm hearing is that the opportunity to really know your members and then think about all the ways in which they can have transparency of access.
Yes, thank you for your point. I think it's very important, to hear, what you are expecting, what you were expected and did not come and so on. Definitely this year we launched, the membership program. And that's the reason why, today and tomorrow we are organizing this session to learn more about, because we know if we are organizing that, is that we know that there is a big room to improvement. And we want to move on the right direction, because we could test and learn many directions, but since you are here, we want to really be sure that we will go in the right direction. So agree with you is that, we settle, this membership early this year, okay? And at the same time, we are, I would say, new into our international journey. That means we were organizing Miami. We wanted to ensure that we will have, a successful FII 7, and to engage on the individual basis, with all of you was quite difficult. This is something that we want to engage more, and we will take time, and where we will submit you soon, surveys as well. That means where you would like, to engage. Would you like to have a speaker role? Would you appreciate, to have, like speed dating meetings? How you would like, for example, to engage with our strategic partners, the big company that you are seeing in the main pavilion. Because we are a team, we have 3 pillars, but of course we are working as a team. How, for example, we could leverage one theme, for example, sustainability, because it's very large, and to ensure that, it is really a dialogue between you members and with our strategic partners, and organizing, for example, webinars all together where the community is speaking together and on a regular basis, for example, on every 2 months and something like that. And of course, taking time with all of you to know you. So maybe how you would like, for example, we are engaging with you. What you would like, for example, we are taking, the phone and we are taking, making an appointment, 15 minutes, and you are talking about you, and then we can really personalize our interaction, or are you open, to a more generic, I would say, approach?
Just to be clear, and please, guys, I'm sorry. Please don't get me wrong, okay?
No. But absolutely.
I just want to know if this is a challenge or if it's a fact. A fact I can manage. A challenge I need to how to solve. I want to only expect is work together to find the right way that is good for me, is good for you, and good for the audience. I don't know if it's one-to-one. I don't know if it's a workshop. I don't know if it's a webinar. I don't know if it's a circus. I don't know if it's a campfire. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to find the best way that we can interact, give value to other people and to ourselves, nothing else. And because we are innovators and you have these crazy ideas and the innovative approach, we're ready for everything that makes sense.
Absolutely.
But by the way, if you throw peanuts, you receive monkeys. You understand?
Yeah.
If you go to the webinars and the workshops, come on, guys. This is very, very bread and butter. You need to really think something different, okay? And you can help you on that.
I think this is exactly the kind of conversation we actually not only want to have now, but really encourage that it continues. So this is the start of a conversation. If you see other members throughout the day who aren't here, this conversation is being repeated tomorrow, so that this can really be a community that you are not only on the receiving end of, but that you are helping to shape and inform. We're going to go here and then there.
Okay. So my name is Vinitra. I come from India, but we operate in South Asia, Southeast Asia, and East Africa. My organization name is Avishkar. We are probably one of the world's first impact investors, started in 2001, manage around $1.5 billion. But we are just not an investor. We are both an investor and an operator. So we do both. One of the reasons I actually became a member was because I saw humanity, sustainability, terms that we associate with our work being discussed here. And I thought, let me actually go and check whether we can see what we think rhymes with what you are thinking. We are coming from a very different perspective. I'm coming from a bottom-up thought process. So when I say impact, I'm actually working with the lower income population of the world. Not necessarily the rich and the richer, but I'm actually working. So my raison d'etre is making poor rich, and it's a slightly different challenge. Of course, technology is a leveler. The only way to make a difference is to use technology, because poor won't actually become financially included if they do not have a bank account, if they don't have a mobile phone. So you have to do things. My asks are very simple. All of us actually are doing many things. We have 9 different funds. We are raising different kinds of capital. Saudi Arabia is very interesting. It's actually a country that has generated a lot of wealth out of oil. And we are working on a carbon credit fund, which is essentially convincing people to give us capital so that we can generate, we can work with poor people to generate fairly significant credits, which can then be plowed back to those who are actually investing capital. It's both financially sustainable, reasonable return generating, but at the same time very impactful. There are many such ideas that we keep coming up with, which we would like to debate, discuss, and see if there are potential ways of engaging with the community here. So I just wanted to say.
Thank you. No. You go.
I think you were ahead of it. Hi, everyone. Abdurrahman Hamad. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'm a lawyer, although I'm based in Dubai. But I'm the managing partner of Hamad Al-Mahdar, which is one of the largest law firms here in Saudi. I joined the FII Institute because of the Think section of it, just to learn. I get exposed to great ideas that help me shape the future of my organization and the sustainability as it grows and for generations beyond me. As I joined, I've seen that you guys have done a phenomenal job with it, right? And once you have members, of course, there are areas to change how to disseminate the great thinking that goes behind the curtains from the members, the partners across the members. But I also think that there are areas to explore in allowing the members to get together and think collectively about some of the topics and the themes that are being brought forward. So I think the collaboration of the thinking part and the exchange part can become great. And also would love to learn more about what you're doing on the investing part or the acting part, because after all, this is the world we live in, and we all joined because we would like to shape it, and it's shaping it through investing, through our organizations, through collaborating together and doing it to do it for you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'm Mark Franco. I'm from New York, and I work for the U.S. subsidiary of PIF. And in my office, we have We have coverage for all of the different divisions within PIF. I happen to represent the local real estate team. And so this is my first FII. It's my second visit to the country. And, you know, one of my goals coming into this conference was to make a lot of new connections with respect to my specific world. And there's no real easy way to find the membership that I should be targeting through the app or the website. There's no membership directory. And the app, which has the list of people, doesn't allow you to sort by industry. So whether it's real estate, prop tech, or anything along those lines. So, you know, it's really very difficult to even pinpoint who I should be targeting. So for the companies that I know are going to be here, I can zero in on those companies and try and find the people. But there, I'm sure, many people here that I would love to talk to that I don't even know about because I don't know that they're in my industry, and it's very difficult to find.
Yes, no, it's a very good point, and we collected, you know, such many remarks regarding the app, and particularly, you know, the by sector of activity in order to ensure. So the feedback that we have is people are responsive when you are starting to engage with them with the chat. However, it takes time for you, you know, to identify them, and it's a very good point, and we are going to improve, you know, the app for the next edition in order to facilitate this. Got your point as well regarding maybe a directory of members where we will ask you, you know, if you are willing to share your personal contacts between all of you. That means you can really engage between yourself from independent and autonomous manners without FII as a mediator, I would say. And we will be pleased, you know, to do that. You know, for us, there is no point, you know, to go through our platform. Yeah, I think you...
Yeah.
Can I just react?
Yes.
To what the gentleman said, and thank you for bringing this forward. The way we see it is really like an ecosystem, right? So when we do research, obviously we're trying to switch now from academic partner to knowledge partner, and so under that umbrella, much more stakeholders can fit, right? We want our research and report to be as relevant as possible, as meaningful as possible, as forward-thinking as possible, right? And this will come by working with you, right? Because you know what you're doing underground, you know the solutions you're working on, your community, the people, whichever level you're engaging. And this is the kind of like input that is very much needed and very much welcome as we move forward into, developing content and working with you. So thank you for that.
Great. Thank you. You had another comment.
Just to follow up on the membership connectivity. So obviously, I've spent most of my career in the real estate world. I'm involved in some of the other real estate specific organizations in the U.S. And even within the real estate organizations, there are councils that are specific to multifamily, office space, hospitality. You know, so they really zero in, and you can't do that here because it's just too general, but you can do it in a more kind of macro basis and just kind of pick the larger fields and have kind of councils specific to those, which I think would also help with the connection of people within their own industry and needs. So.
Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. So there is definitely, it's a very good point, and of course it is in the pipeline, and we need to implement. Would you be interested into, I would say, because there is, of course, you know, the sector of activity, and then the geographic, you know, so, and how you, that's very important. Maybe you will tell me, generally speaking, no, we are not interesting. For us, it's fine. Or is there, you know, some specific geographic zone that you would like to emphasize for your business, for your, and it's important for us to know because, you know, as I mentioned to you at the introduction, we are aiming to organize 5 summits next year. So it's important that we are responding to your needs and your expectation. If, you know, part of, you know, the 5 cities or, you know, zone, you know, geographic areas that I mentioned, there is one or few that you think that it does not make sense, or you would prefer to go, for example, twice in China, we can consider that. It's not, we are totally open, and would be interesting to get your feedback on that.
every city that we have important business for us is important. For example, Riyadh, of course. We, okay, but Riyadh, yes, okay. Major cities in Europe, Paris, London, Brussels. Think about Dublin, just in case.
Which one?
Dublin, just in case.
Yes, yes, I know very
And Western Europe, like Frankfurt, for example, more Western, not Western. And in Asia, Shanghai for sure, and Australia, Perth. The west zone of Australia is very important in terms of business. So I think if you're not in the other side, and I'm being selfish because this is very important for me as a company. Okay. So important that I didn't buy one membership, I buy two. My partner Roberto is here. I buy two memberships, not one. Just not mix anything.
So I'm hand to you in a moment. I think that question is on offer to everyone. We're not going to get a chance to answer it here. So my question to all of you is, what happens after this in terms of making sure that the feedback continues to go back and forth? How can they, I'm going to have you ask your question, and at the end, that was my question back to you is, what happens after? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm Carlos from Paper Excellence. We are a traditional poop and paper company. So we are very much into sustainability from one side of the business. The other one, we're trying to solve it all more on the paper side. To the point on this suggestion for the app, I think something that came up for me was very hard is I was only able to kind of try to find people kind of 1 or 2 or 3 days beforehand. Wasn't kind of installing the app was hard to find people. They were still coming in as members, and also if we had some way of trying to connect beforehand and prepare, so once we are here, we have kind of a better schedule, and then I can actually use my time better. That's on your point of. And kind of expanding the FII, in our case, at least for our company, our interest was mostly to kind of learn more about the region here, and I think you have a unique position for the MENA region. I'm not sure if I come up at the company proposing for FII globally, if I would have the same acceptance, because we do have other partnerships, and we do participate in other conferences around the world. So United States, London, other places, I would be maybe tagging to other conferences that we already participate on. So it's just an important point. For us, it was very, very important, your unique position here at the MENA region.
Yes, agree. So I know that we have to wrap up quickly. For sure, lots of our members are expecting much more insight from the region, and for sure we can be more generous in terms of information, best practice, new trends as well. And regarding the app and your difficulties, to engage at the last minute, maybe we could remain, the app open just for the members, all year round. That means that you will be able, to engage between all of you all year round without any some deadlines, 2 weeks or 1 week ahead, the conference or the summit, where at any time of the year you can engage. Thank you.
Great. I saw a lot of nodding heads on that last point. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, just to echo Florence's comments, just we want to thank you for your insight and feedback. What I like about this is it's direct. It's the directors, it's the members. We're all sort of similar in some sense. And I think we should not lose that and keep that. World Economic Forum's a big machine. Who do you talk to? It's frustrating. Milken changes staff so often that you build a relationship and you got to go meet the new person. So what's cool about this group is that we are leanly staffed and we need the right tech, to Mark's point, but I don't think it should lose that one-on-one. This is about, you guys are leaders in your industry. We're fortunate to be at FII, and we should be working together, and we should keep that spirit.
Great.
Yes, I'd like also to thank you and invite you as well to share with us. We're about to embark in managing a huge community of members, and this is also new for us. So any practice that good practices that you've noticed on how to engage community across borders, we can take. I'm also very curious about the insights from KSA that would be useful to members. This is something that, yes, our unique position. So any feedback, please keep it coming. We're going to do our best to implement most of your suggestions, because in the end, it's our interest that, this kind of relationship functions well. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
think there's just one last comment.
Yep. Just a quick comment on line with. I will not repeat what you guys said. I'm Roberto Wiskowski from FIA Partners. I was in the previous session where this was shown to us, the results, and that kind of triggered the conversation about participating and being part of the body of knowledge of the FII. I talked to one of your colleagues outside from the Think Group, took the survey, very interesting. So inviting everybody to do it is outside. It takes no time and is actually a very nice moment to reflect as well from the questions themselves. But then kind of starting the conversation of how can I contribute to this? Because we're a global company with 3,000 people around the world, innovators. I personally run the growth and innovation global team for the firm, and I can see a lot of our people contributing excellent ideas, even part of the data that you're building. That's why I asked for the age group before. But it was from my side, right? And it was, you guys welcomed that, and I will have a meeting with you, hopefully, to discover how we can participate and the call for action, because you have very interesting impact ideas. But it came from us. So I really want to stress that we, and maybe I'm speaking from many of you, we need to know what's next and how to engage from your side. Because yes, I can push, but I don't know what else is there, to be honest. It's not very easy to find, and we're hungry for it. Not only for, and I want to stress that point, not only for KSA, I think we can help globally as well. All right?
Thank you all so much for coming. And again, if you see others who are members, please invite them to come tomorrow because this level of conversation is really, really helpful. Thank you.